Who says crafting is a dying art? I'm finding crafters all over the Middle Tennessee area who make unique items that'll be passed down for generations to come. Welcome to HandMade Tennessee. I'm Kimberly Vance, and my special guest today is Lucille Bunch. Hi, Lucille.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Thank you so very much for coming today.
Thank you for
I'll tell you
asking.
what, these are absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
I have had so much fun watching these and seeing how you have progressed making these baby blankets. You have got several different kinds that you brought for us today. One of them is tacking, old-fashioned tacking.
Right. They're all old-fashioned tacking except one.
Wow, that's something else. And then a stand-up pinwheel. Is that what you're calling that one? And then the peekaboo.
Peekaboo.
Oh, they're so cute. So you're going to give us an example today of how you do each one of them, and you brought us in some stuff to show us how.
I did.
And we're very excited about it. How did you first come up with the idea? When you were a child, did you learn
My
how to
mama
tack?
always quilted.
Always.
And I'd always come in from school and I'd sit down and quilt with her. She'd have all these quilting frames hanging from the ceiling, and you just sit down and start doing it.
Wow.
And then I'd watch her, and then she would tack them down, and I'd help do that. And it's used to they use like real thick quilting thread or crochet thread, but I like to use embroidered thread.
Probably a lot easier.
It is, and I take not half it.
Oh, so you like pull it in half and make it thinner.
I pull it in half and use 3 strands instead of 6. And that just makes it lively, and it just makes it neater looking to me. I like it better.
Yeah.
But my mama always quilted all her life.
Isn't that something? So you came by it
So I
naturally.
come by it honest.
Now, we were talking about your large family you came from, 15 brothers and sisters.
15.
Do all of the girls and some of the guys quilt?
No.
None of them. You're the only one.
Well, I have got an older sister. She used to do some quilting. And then I've got a baby sister. She can do sewing. But I've also taught her how to do some crochet. And my other sister, I've taught how to do crochet.
But
And
otherwise, you're the crafty. You're the
more or
crafty
less, I do more of this than any of them like Mama does.
Oh, isn't that something?
So.
Well, this is amazing. When I first came and visited you and saw these, you were talking about tacking and it being an old-fashioned tacking. I have never heard, and I'm sure I should have. We probably just call it a stitch or something, you know.
Probably.
But I didn't realize.
Because used to they're taking, they would quilt all the way around your blocks. I mean the whole quilt. And sometimes they would tack it. And most of the time the old-fashioned, long time ago, is tacked.
And what do you actually mean by tack? You put it, is put in the front and the back together?
Yeah, you just take, and when you take your back, and then you got to take your batting and put it all together, and then just take it. I just take it through the middle and tack it. And I do about like 3 ties. Most everybody don't do it with a needle, but I do. I do it, you know, just make my loops with that.
How else would you do it? Are you talking about making the loops?
Well,
you would just cut it?
No, like they would leave it. I will show you. Let me clip this off. See, I don't like mine very long. Everybody does. Turn it around here where I can get it. Most everybody takes it a long time ago. They would just do it like this, leave a piece, and keep it going.
Oh. Whoops.
Come through. And come on down. Then when they get all the way down, they would take it and cut it.
Oh.
And tie it. But you leave a big enough string to tie it.
You know what? It seems like your way would be easier.
It is. That's why I do it my way. It's just a whole lot easier to me. And people's got arthritis like I do. It's a whole lot more simpler. And you just take it and do it that way.
Isn't that pretty? And the reason for it is so the back and front don't separate.
And it holds it together. And when you wash, and then it's all together.
Now, is that opposed to actually going around all the edges? Instead of sewing down all the edges, you tack it?
And it holds it all together. It keeps your batting and your backing all together.
Isn't that something?
So when you wash it, you know, it's there. It's not coming apart.
And it looks just as good on the back side
as it does the front.
That is so cute. Well, I had never heard of tacking.
Yeah.
Absolutely never heard of it. I must live in a cave or something.
No, but I just use embroidery thread.
Just a standard embroidery thread that you can get anywhere.
Well, you can use either kind, DMC or the Quilts and Armor.
Okay. Do you have a preference? You just like
DMC is usually the best. But I take and get me a big old string of it. Then I take and split it. There's 6 strings. So I take and I use 3.
And that's just your personal preference.
Right. And the easiest way to do this, keep from getting, because if you do it this way, you're going to get all
knot up. Yeah.
That's it.
Look at you go.
Just
Now,
pull it
isn't
up.
that something?
See, it tangles up.
Uh-huh.
Just pull it on out.
Wow.
And that's how you do it.
Now, could you do it with the 6 if you wanted to?
You could. It just make it thicker.
Uh-huh.
But I just like it 3.
Nice. Like you said, it's
Right,
nice and
it's-
light and airy
right,
like
it's
that.
just nice and airy, and it's just fluffy looking. It's not like plotted together, you know, wadded together.
Yeah. Oh, I
But-
like that.
but
That
I
is
like
really
this
neat.
better.
Old-fashioned tacking.
It
Well, that is
is.
fine. And I love your choice of colors. They're beautiful.
I love that blue.
Now, did you say this one was already for somebody? Don't you have
all,
a baby?
all of these are for someone.
Oh.
Yes.
Are they going to be surprises?
This-
Probably not now.
Well, I think she kind of knows I'm doing something, but she don't know what, because
Aw.
I did for her brother, and it was all John Deere green. Same thing.
Cute. Now, where do you get your fabrics? Do people collect them for you, or do you go?
No, I go to Murfreesboro. Used to. Walmart was the best because you can't find calico anymore. You can't get it unless. And I heard Walmart's going to get their stuff back. I hope they do. But I go down here at BJ's.
Just
Or
different places. And
Mike,
get-
or just like Holly Hobby, or there's a Joanne's now in Murfreesboro. I really
I've
like
heard
it.
of that.
It's
I've heard of
nice.
that.
She's got a lot of good stuff. It's really nice.
Oh, that's neat.
But and then too, like Vervilla Road, this what's her name? Woodside. Miss Woodside. She has a lot of materials, and I'll go out there and get some too. But a lot of this I have already had where I had got at Walmart.
You know what? I'll tell you something else too that I love is finding fabrics at good yard sales and
Oh
stuff.
yes, I do that too if I can. But you can't find big pieces. It's just like little scraps, you know.
Now, for a blanket this size, obviously you would need however much you wanted on the backside, and then what? I guess half again.
Well, you'd have to have both pieces. You have one color this way, that. Unless you just want to mix it all up, you can make it all colors, and it's real pretty. You can do everything.
Like just
But-
what all you had.
Yeah, just use everything you got, you know. But you usually want a baby quilt 2 yards by 2 yards.
So
something
you
like
need to
that.
find a good little bit.
Yeah.
And then do you actually have a pattern that you cut your squares by?
No, I make my own pattern. I get a ruler, and this is like a 3 by 3.
Okay.
So I take it, do it that. So the time I sew it, I did sew it on sewing machines to my fingers. Most time you sew it on your finger, old timey. But I sewed it on a sewing machine, and I just kept sewing them together till I got, you know, ever how big I wanted it.
So you actually sew these together. You sew
You do,
your
you sew
squares
them together.
Okay.
Yeah, you just sew them together, and then see, there they are. That's how you do it.
Isn't that something?
And it's really
then
simple.
You tack it.
You tack
oh,
it.
that's cool.
You sew them all together first, and you put it together and tack it. Then I stitched it on my hands also. Instead of sewing on some machine, I done the hand stitching on the hem.
Oh, on the hem? Did
Yeah.
you really? Now, do you prefer hand stitching, or
Well,
do
if
you
you
like the
want-
results of the hand stitching
I
better?
do it because it's old-fashioned. If you want it to be like new, you do it on a sewing machine. The new stuff. But old-fashioned is originally hand done.
Yeah, sewing
Just
machines
hand
were
done.
a priceless luxury
It was,
years
it
ago then,
was.
weren't they? Well, this is absolutely adorable. Old-fashioned tacking. That's fine. All right, now show us your
My little pinwheel.
stand-up pinwheel.
I take my material. Reason I used all colors because I wanted all of it to match. So I just take my little, same squares, same size. You could make 6-inch squares, 8-inch squares, 10-inch, or 12, whatever size you want.
Okay, and you're talking about the squares
All
that
the
are down.
squares.
Okay.
Also, when you do, you could also make these same size, but you got to have 4.
Okay.
So you take your same size little square, fold it over to the corner,
Okay.
back over, and you put it down there. And then that makes your little pinwheel.
Okay, show us that again.
All
In
right.
slow motion.
Slow motion. Okay, you take your little square,
Okay.
turn it to the corner,
All right.
like that,
Okay.
and turn it over,
All right.
back to that corner.
Okay.
Then you take and pin them down.
Uh-huh.
Then you do 4 of them. So you take one up.
4 on each.
You do 1 on each thing.
Oh, okay.
On each square, you do 1 on each square. So you
Okay.
it takes 4
All
squares.
right.
It takes 4 squares to make a pinwheel.
Okay, I see what you got. You got the 4 squares.
Right.
All right.
Then you
Make your
take and you
pinwheel.
turn them this way. Then you sew them all together, and you got your little pinwheel.
So do you fold these in and then just sew
Well,
them
no,
like you would
I
these?
sew these first together. After I pin them all together, I take and sew them down. I get my points up and sew them down the sides and sew them here.
Okay.
Then I put them all together.
All right. Do you normally, do you do like 1 square at a time, or do you go ahead and count out how many you need and then sit and sew them all?
Usually what I do, I just cut out a whole bunch. And then I just do all my little squares by themselves. Then I just put them all together and just start doing like a assembly line.
Yeah. And do you do this on the machine also?
I
normally?
did.
But then I noticed that you tacked it also.
I did. I tacked it also.
Goodness
and a hand
gracious.
stitch. And then you want a strip go down the side of it.
Just like a border?
Right, it's a border, then you put another strip. But you measure them same size, so they'll all be same all over.
That is beautiful. Now, how long would a blanket this size with the pinwheels, how much time would you have in this?
Well, if I really sat down on it and really done it, I could probably do one about 3 hours probably.
Really?
Me.
Oh, that's fast. See where it'd take me 3 days. Just cutting and
That's what you
stuff
do.
like that makes me nervous trying to
Well, what you
make
do,
sure the
you
squares
cut all
are
your
precise.
stuff out first,
Uh-huh.
and then you go and start putting it all together.
Oh, that's so neat. And then this would be, this seems like this would be really pretty if you did all the pinwheels in different colors.
They are. They're pretty.
Oh, that would be cute.
You could do it that way. Then you'd also
I love the blue, though.
You could also not do the whole quilt. You could do like just so much in the middle,
yeah.
or you can alternate the colors and then put different stripes around for bordering.
That would be
You can
really
make
pretty too.
different colors.
And then I noticed that you always make, and I think this is a normal quilt thing, you make it one
Color on the back.
back side.
But you can put it striped if you want it. If you want it, like say I picked that to go with my backing, so it all go together. Or you could have put this color. But if you bake one all variegated, you could put stripes, checks, polka dots, whatever.
Anything you wanted.
Yeah, just put it on there.
Now, when we were talking about this a little while back, you were talking about how your pinwheels are a little bit different.
They are. Most pinwheels are laid down flat. They are just like one single piece of material sewed into it. Where this is folded over, and when you fix it, it does stand up. It looks like a little rose, more or less.
Yeah, that is cute. Now, have you experimented with roses and stuff too?
Well, no, not yet. I mean, I've just more or less done this, and I want to make me one like a 12 by 12 or 10 by 12 with pink on it to look like roses. Because the one I did with the John Deere green, I done it the green, and then I put the yellow up here, and it looked like bigger roses standing up there. It was really
Is that where
pretty.
you got the idea for that?
For this. And
Now, where did you get the idea to make your pinwheels a little bit different?
I had went out on Viola Road. There's a little place out there they've got going now with mostly yarn and a few material, and she does quilts. And she had one up there, but like I said, it was all like in the middle. And then different colors for your borders. So I want to go all the way with it. I want to do something different.
Wow, this is different.
It
I
is.
love this.
I like to do things different. I like a challenge.
Yeah.
I like to do something that nobody says, you know, you can't do it. I'll do it.
Yeah. And so you come up with a lot of these patterns just kind of on
I
your
just
own,
do
don't
it.
you? Yeah.
I just do it.
Do you ever encounter anything that you can't do?
Yeah.
Really? Now that surprised me. I wouldn't figure there was nothing you couldn't do.
I can kind of do it, but I hadn't never had no one to really show me because I can't do directions real good. I have to be showed, and that's knitting.
Yeah.
I can crochet, I can cross stitch, I can macrame. I mean, I can do it all except knitting.
Except knitting,
But I can get on there. I can
Yeah.
get it off, but I don't know what I'm doing. But
I hear you on that one. I'm with you on that one. We may have to go and take us a knitting class.
we might
someday.
have to.
I tried it, and I've kind of put it on the back burner to let it steep for a little bit. That is really, really cute. And somebody's getting this one, too, as a prize.
They all go to the same person. They
Oh,
do.
to the same person?
Same person for
What a
the
lucky little
baby.
person. Oh, that's going to be so sweet. I love that. I think
do
that is
too.
so
I
cute.
love that.
You know, something else you could do with this is do each color, do a
color
different color.
you can, and it'd be really pretty.
Oh.
Especially like a baby pastels for the little girl, or pinks or
Oh, that'd
blues
be
or
sweet.
yellows and greens. Oh, it'd be pretty.
Oh, that would be. Or if you didn't know what somebody was having, you could
Just
make
do it,
yellow and green.
or different colors.
Oh, that'd be so cute. And I'll tell you what, this is something that somebody will treasure forever.
People does not realize what this is all about. And the kids nowadays, you know, they don't know anything. And when we're dead and gone, these young kids not going to know anything. No one has taught them, and this is going to be gone. It's going to be, all this quilt stuff's going to be out.
That's what we're trying to do with this show is show people what to do and remind them of the things
Right.
of the past that we need to preserve.
And I think more parents need to get out there and try to teach those kids. And you know, they used to have home economics in school. They don't have it anymore. And they need to bring that back real bad.
Well, a lot of the basics we do need because
do.
it's shocking that you know, so many of us can't do just what you would consider basic things.
Right.
Something else. Well, I love these stand-up pinwheels. Those are gorgeous. Now this one, I have just really, I love all of them, but this one is so much fun. I've just had the best time watching you on this one.
That is cool.
All
That is
right.
so cool.
This is a peekaboo quilt.
a peekaboo or learning, either one you want to call it.
A learning. I didn't think about that. You put the ABCs and everything. It's kind of like a
1, 2,
pop-up
3.
book.
Yeah.
All right, so tell us a little bit about this one.
So-
Where did you get the idea for this one?
I
Is
just
this
come
kind
up
of
with it. I just come up with it myself. I thought, well, you know, I went everywhere and I had a bunch of little scraps and I thought, I got to do something with them.
Oh, cute.
So you just have all kinds with just, you know, different little things in it.
Now, that would be a
Butterflies.
great way to use up scraps.
It is. And so you got your fit. I mean, you just put, like you
Aw.
say, ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, animals, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, well, they could find what the animal is, plus they got the colors, and they got to look for them.
Oh, that is so cute.
So I just put, you know, like Disney stuff or the birds or the bears, just anything.
Any little thing in there that you can
And
find.
usually I do come all the way out here, but this time I wanted to do it a little bit different because since I made her brother's one like that, I want to do hers a little different.
Now, I noticed that these squares are larger.
They are, they're 4-inch squares.
Is there a reason for that?
No, you can make them any size you want. That's just the size I wanted. That's just what I wanted to do. So what I did, I took just a regular square. And there's my Mickey Mouse, my little Donald Duck.
Oh.
So then I took my little, where the go over to.
This would be an awesome way to use up scraps.
It is. So I took a square, and I took it, and I cut it in half.
Okay. And
So
then
then-
you use the same size as you use on the squares. Is that
I
right?
would, yeah, use the
Okay.
same size.
All right.
Then you cut them in half. So then when you cut them in half, you sew them face together. You know, just like face together.
Okay.
And then turn them back wrong side outwards. So there's your little.
That's what you
your
come
little
out
flaps.
with. All right, so you would sew them, you take a square,
And cut it in half.
cut it in half,
And then sew 'em-
sew it
put 'em
right
face to
sides
face,
together.
right.
Okay. And then flip it back out.
And get your little corner out.
And you do that 4 times.
4 times.
Now, do you also do that on your piece before you?
I do. I sew them together first before I put all my quilt together.
And how do you get this on? Do you sew all this? How does that work?
Okay, I take this first and I sew all my little pieces to it.
Okay.
And after I do that, then I'll take me a plain square and get it back around here where it goes. I sew all them together first.
Okay. So you would take the square that you're going to use, like the picture or
Right,
whatever.
make all them
right.
first. Then I will take and sew this one to this one, this one to this one, keep it going, alternating it like that. And then that makes my picture or whatever.
And we were talking too about some folks have used photographs and
They
stuff
can.
before.
They can.
And you would need a scanner and
You
stuff
need
for
a scanner
that.
and things like they do on T-shirts like the fair, or you can do it at home, but I've tried it and I couldn't get it to work right. So
Really?
as somebody's experimenting in that and they are good at it, you can. But see, like me now, I can't do that stuff.
I think you're in pretty good shape, though. That's what you can do. Oh, now that's something else. But now I noticed, though, that you have used a smaller square to cut those. You've
I
used,
did
what is
a
that,
little
the 3-inch?
This is a 3-inch.
Okay, so you've taken a 3-inch and you put it on the 4-inch square.
To make them all, because the 4-inch is bigger, and you want your little points to go together. So in order to make them that way, you got to make it smaller.
All right, so if you were going to put, say, a 3-inch picture in, would you need to do 2-inch?
Just to make it. Usually what I do, I take a square, or I take and cut one out, and I measure it. And if it's too big, I'll cut it down. If it's not, then I'll add to it.
Do you cut your pattern down?
Yeah.
So you can kind of know?
So you can see.
So
But you kind of, what you do, like your picture, like a 12 by 12 or 2 by 2, you take a square and cut it, and then you start taping it down and use it for a pattern. And that's how you get your patterns out of it, to make it where it will fit. You want them all to go to the point to point, so it will cover the picture up.
So that's kind of a good rule of thumb, I guess. If you're going to use, say, a 5-inch, you'd want to start maybe with the 4-inch
And
square.
cut it down and try it and see how it fits.
And just
That's
kinda
something
try
you
it
have to use your own judgment and how to figure out how big you want it, because you don't want to leave it open. You know,
Right.
that's not going to help anything.
That's
You
not
want
gonna
it
be
to
cute
be
either.
hid, so that way they can look, see what's under there.
That is so cute. Absolutely
You can also
adorable.
take a flap, just like one flap if you want to, that size, and put over it. But I don't like it. It's not
It's
as
fun.
pretty and fun as this one.
Yeah, it's not. I love those. Those are so neat. All right, how do you, I notice you put batting in them. Tell
What
us
I
how
did
you
with this
actually
one-
come up with the,
With this one, I went to BJ's and got some scraps that she had where they put the quilts over there.
okay.
So what I did, I took this and put it to this. So you take and do it wrong side outwards. You always put face to face. And then I turned it wrong side outwards. then I stitch around it like that. So then I went and made me some little stitches here. Instead of tacking, I just tacked it on my sewing machine. Because I have got a comforter, that's where I got my idea. For my comforter, it had like big places here and there, just like this. So I thought, I'm gonna try something different. So I did, I put that on it, and I like it, it's different. It's different.
It is, that's neat.
And this way, this is already got the batting in it, and it's quilted on back.
Is that something that you normally need to do when you're doing
Well,
a quilt?
no, you can put the batting in it yourself. You don't have to do that. I just did that, I had it, and I thought, well, you know, that's be softer and easier for it to lay on. It won't be so thin.
Okay, so this is actually, this is the back side.
Right, that's the back side.
Okay, so you have, so see, because I don't quilt. I
Right.
don't know how so much yet.
So I use this on
learning.
the back side.
Okay.
Well,
so
I can teach
your
you.
batting. Oh yeah, you're going to, you didn't know it yet.
That'd be fine anytime.
Anyway, so you go and you get your batting.
It's all together.
All right, now I heard you say that you use scraps of batting, so you don't have to have a continuous sheet?
No. See what she does when she makes her quilt, she has pieces left. So if there's a big enough piece, now see, you notice I have pieced this one? It wasn't big enough, so I just sew it together to make it the size I want it.
So
And
you
then-
have pieced this, you're
Right.
saying, on the back side.
Right, I did, see?
So you had a piece this size,
To go
and
with
then
this
you had a
side.
piece this size.
Right.
Okay.
But a lot of times you can buy the piece, same size if she's got it. You can do that. Or now I'll tell you something you can really do yourself if you really want to. You can take a white sheet and you can take your batting yourself, just like this batting right here. And you can take it and put it on the back of it, and you can just go up and down it, or which way you want, make your own. Make your own.
What are you saying, just sewing it to it?
Yeah. Or I could
Oh, just a sheet for your backing of your quilt?
yeah, so you could take it just like this,
Oh.
and then just sew it on the sewing machine, just any which way you want it.
And that would
And
be the
then-
back side of your quilt?
It'd be the same as this.
Oh, isn't
Yeah.
that smart?
You can do that.
Now, how'd you get this design? You didn't make
Well,
this
no,
design,
I didn't
did
do this
you?
design.
It came up.
I just bought it that way. When
Okay.
that's the way she does her quilts. And this is just the scraps off of it. But if you want to make it on yourself, you can go up and down it or crossways, or you could just make flowers on the back of it, whatever you want to do. And then use it for your back. Then
Now,
put your top to it.
To make flowers and stuff, would your machine have to do that?
It would.
Okay.
Yeah, it would.
Unless you wanted to sit and hand.
Hand stitch it.
Yeah, and that's
Long time.
some, yeah.
Like my sewing machine, I have got, I guess, I don't know, 19 or 20 cartridges that goes to mine, which I don't use them. I have used some for the embroidery names and stuff. But for this, you'd want something just plain and white, soft, and not so thick. But you could take and just sew it, like I said, anyway. You can make checks, squares, diamonds, whatever you want to on your sewing machine. And it don't have to be no certain way. And you can use that for your back.
A sheet.
See?
Now, I figured you'd have to have.
No, I use, a lot of times if you want to make a quilt, most people now goes by sheets. And you take the top undone to pull it out. And then you got your whole thing. And sheets makes the best backing ever was.
Well, it seems like it would be
and
very nice.
And they last forever.
Yeah, and lightweight.
Yes.
It seems like that would be definitely a
I even
plus.
make curtains out of sheets.
I love sheets, don't you? They're
I
very
do, too.
versatile. You can make you a toga dress. That would be good for a sheet. Well, maybe not. We might get run out of town if we did that.
Uh-oh. But yeah, I
Isn't
like
that
sheets
smart?
a lot. I like sheets a lot.
Now, is this a sheet right here?
No, it's a piece of material.
It's actually fabric.
It's actually fabric. I got there at Miss
I
Woodside's.
sworn that looks like my sheets. Now that you say that, it looks like my sheets.
No, I went out Miss Woodside's and I got it. And see, a lot of times she has 9-inch material. And that is really good for like a half bed quilt, or you can sew it together and make a queen
Did you say
size.
90?
90 inches.
Okay, 90's hard to come by.
It is, and Miss Woodside has it.
Because most of the time it's what,
She has it.
45 and 60?
And 60. And you can't hardly find it, but I do like to go out there, and I do a lot of times get some of her material that's really wide.
Now, is it very expensive?
Some is and some not. The 90-inch, I forgot what price she has. I hate to say
Yeah.
if I don't know for sure.
But
But
it's-
she has different ones. And like I say, I love it for curtains. It makes the best curtains there was. It's a little bit thick for the back. That's why I like sheets better.
Yeah.
Or just
Boy, that makes perfect sense.
it just makes a big difference. I mean, if you don't know anything about sewing, you know, you really don't know what to get and what not to get.
Right.
But if you do it a lot, you kind of know what you want and what you don't want. It's just
See, that's kind of where I'm at. I would have never thought of using a sheet. I would have gone, you know, 9 ways to
Right.
Sunday, making it hard on
always
myself.
use a sheet is the best
Great
backing.
idea. Great idea. All right, so you would get the sheet, if you used a sheet,
Right.
and then you would put the batting
Right.
And then sew them together.
Right.
And then you would start on your front.
Right, if you wanted to.
All right.
But a lot of times, if you want to put like a queen size quilt together, what you do, get your sheet, put your batting in it, and then put your top on.
Okay.
Then you would take, now I've got some horses I made with some old racks to quilt mine on if I want to hand quilt it. But you take and do that, and that's how you put it together on it. You tack it, or either you quilt it, hand quilt it.
And how would you wouldn't be able to decorate on that though, like the peekaboos or anything after you had it together, right?
No, you wouldn't. But if you hand quilted it, like you went around this square, you go in each square, well, you've already got design on the back because you're going plumb through the material. So it makes its own design when you do the old-fashioned hand quilting.
That's cool.
So,
oh, that's neat.
So it does. That's why you do that.
Now all of a sudden I have to have a new bedspread. So here's me another project that I'm going to start. I'll tell you what, I have really learned something today. This is so much fun. And the folks, the little feller who's going to get these is going to be very excited.
He is. Well,
oh, that's wonderful.
When he gets older, he will.
Yeah, he won't care nothing about it now, but he will cherish it when he gets older.
Will.
Oh, wonderful. Absolutely beautiful. And I love your choices of colors. Thank you so much for coming. I have had such a good time learning
Appreciate
this.
you asking me.
Well, you're very welcome. Well, that's our show for today. If you'd like to get in touch with us, email us at handmadetn@bltv.net or like us on Facebook at HandMade Tennessee. Thanks very much to our very special guest today, Lucille Bunch. Thank you. I'm Kimberly Vance, and I hope that you've been inspired to create your own HandMade Tennessee. If you enjoyed today's show, check us out on Facebook for other shows and information at www.facebook.com/HandmadeTennessee. You can also email us your comments or suggestions to handmadetn@bltv.net.